What's up, everybody? Welcome to my review of the Latitude 64 Bryce. First of all, big thank you to our friends Dynamic Discs for sponsoring this review. I really appreciate their support. Anthony, Bobby, Emac, Robert, the whole crew over there is getting a shout out because I appreciate them very much working with me and also their patience. They sent me this disc at least a few months ago at this point. Summer's crazy, a lot of plastic to test, and I appreciate them not putting any pressure on me whatsoever, sending me out this plastic to test and review and let me do my thing. So they're awesome. You guys are awesome for watching. Let's get into the video. Latitude 64 golf discs, Bryce stable fairway driver, 2K line, Opto G plastic, meaning you got the Opto on the interior, gold line on the exterior. There's a look at your flight numbers, which they actually include on this disc, which they don't always do for Latitude molds. It's kind of interesting. 9, 6, -1, and 2. Maybe they put those on there just because people were going to be interested with this new overmold disc. It's a very unique look for them. It's a brand new thing. The Bryce is the driver out of their first initial 3 overmold releases. I've also tested and reviewed the Gobi, which I absolutely love. I have that thing in the bag. It's a wonderful mid-range disc. Go check out the review on that if you're interested. I have not checked out the Sarek yet, but it's kind of on my radar. We'll see if I get there. So much plastic, so little time. Pretty flat top disc for sure. You can see how the gold line exterior edge here of the overmold is actually pretty substantial. It basically takes up the entirety of the profile of this of the rim profile, except for this interior part of the Opto there, where it's bonded together. It's totally seamless, and it's really very well done, and looks great. I think it's a beautiful disc for sure. Nice bright color, super easy to find, and I like the look of the white outer rim there. What's the weight on this one? I didn't even look. 174 grams. You see it's got a beautiful kind of mostly opaque kind of starbursty type pattern to this Opto plastic. I like the opaque Opto for the most part. It's beautiful and just has a good feel to it. I honestly don't really feel much of a difference between the Opto plastic and the gold line on the outer edge here. And when you're holding it in your hand, for me, my big fat, large hands, actually, I'm holding on to mostly the Opto plastic, especially with my power grip and stuff, and then you have some of the gold line in here as well. But for the most part, I just tested this thing to throw it like any other disc. They're not really claiming that their overmold is doing much for the flight characteristics, and more just as a grip thing and just something they wanted to try out. And I don't begrudge them that at all. That's their right to venture into new markets and see how things go. Especially with the success of MVP and stuff, it's not surprising that other companies will want to give it a shot. So far, pretty solid discs that they've released. So let's talk about the flight of the Bryce. It's a relatively straight flying disc for sure. It's not something that is terribly remarkable in flight. For me, I'd throw it down in a little hyzer, stand up and go, and just hold a very straight line overall for probably 90% of the flight, with a gentle fade at the end. I would say the flight numbers are real close, although I think the glide is a touch generous. I am throwing the Latitude 64 Opto Fury. This one is lighter weight, and it also has more of a dome to it. And yeah, it's definitely got a little bit more glide to it for sure, and definitely some more natural high-speed turn. The Bryce actually doesn't seem terribly flippy for me. I can see if you have a bunch of power that this thing could be a little bit tough to control. It's kind of somewhere in the realm of more stable than a Fury, maybe slightly more stable than an Escape or a Saint or something like that, but it's in the ballpark for sure. Similar flight numbers, similar speed, similar glide, although I'd say the Escape and the Fury probably glide a little bit farther than the Bryce, and the Saint might as well. But overall, it's a good feeling disc. It's very point and shoot. It will hold a turnover as well if you need it to. And the only thing I really didn't like it for was it didn't really hold a hyzer terribly strong, but you wouldn't really expect it to. I mean, if you throw it up high, almost any disc, if you take some power off of it or you throw it up high, you can get it to fight in on a hyzer, but it's clearly not a disc that I would, or not clearly, but it's definitely not a disc I would go to for like a distance hyzer shot by any means. Straight flying disc, good for average arms to lower arm speeds, good feeling disc in the hand. That's my review of the Bryce. Big thank you once again to Dynamic Discs. Thanks to all you guys for watching. I will check you all very soon. Cheers.